Welcome, welcome. Today's September 29th. This is for a video for those individuals who are absent or need some additional help with our current topic. For the self-start, hopefully you've gone through the PowerPoint already. So this is just kind of a check your work type deal, I hope. If not, feel free to pause at any time and do some of the work. So self-start today, we're given the expression 4x plus 7 plus 5y. And first thing that we need to do is we need to identify what the 4 represents. So the 4 is right here. It comes right before a variable, and we call that a coefficient. I'm trying to write this with the mouse, and it's a lot trickier than you might think. The x is right here. That is our variable. Try to make that look like a r. There we go. The 7, which is right here, that doesn't have a variable, so that would be our constant. How many terms are in the above expression? So if we remember back to yesterday, a term is part of an expression that's separated by an addition or a subtraction sign. So I've got my addition signs right here. So I'm looking for the pieces that are separated by those, which would be those 3 right there. So there are 3 terms. Can I combine any like terms? Well, this one has an x for variable. This one doesn't have a variable at all. This one has a y for a variable. So no, you cannot combine anything because they don't have a variable in common. So if you try combining all of these, 4 and 7 and 5, that's going to be 16. So you can't really say that it's 16xy because then you're trying to make giraffalence, and that just doesn't work. So there's your self-start for today. Here's your deep thought. You're welcome to pause and read it. Classroom info. Win time is during for 2nd and 6th hour classes today. Those classes will be going through and fixing any mistakes on their feedbacks, getting some extra help on homework, things like that. Parent-teacher conferences will be tomorrow and Thursday. You are welcome to sign up for a time, even those people that are absent or can't come to school. You are still welcome to have your guardians sign up, and I will call and speak with you guys. For today, we've done the self-start, so we're going to start practicing combining like terms. So I know I introduced this already, but this tends to be one of the trickier topics for students to understand and grasp. So we're going to spend some time just combining like terms and kind of go from there. So some things to think about. How do I know what terms I can combine? So you have to be able to identify what terms are similar. And typically you want to look at the variables on that one. So if one has an x, one has a y, and another one has an x, then I can combine these x's together because they have that in common. So next question you have to think about is, can I combine positive and negative numbers if they have the same variable? The answer to this is yes, you can. This is just like what we've been practicing over the last couple of weeks, where we have 4 negatives and we have 5 positives. We have 0 pairs, and I'm left with 1 positive. So I could just say my answer would be just 1C. You could say either 1C or you could just say C for an answer, and that would be okay too. So it is possible if they have a variable like this in common, even if one's positive, one's negative, you can combine them. So the one thing we're going to focus on for this unit is putting shapes around those things that do have something in common. We do this just to kind of help identify and positive and negatives, what can be, can't be, just kind of keep things sorted. So I have an expression of 8x plus 2 plus 2x plus 7. So I notice that this right here and this right here both have the same variable. Now, the one thing that I'm going to emphasize, and I hope your other teachers do as well, is that when you circle or put a shape around these like terms, include the sign that's in front of it like this. And here in a moment, we'll demonstrate why that might be important. So right now I have 8x plus 2x, which is going to give me 10x. Now, this 2 right here doesn't have a variable, so I have to look at the expression to see if there's any other terms that don't have a variable as well, and I see the 7. So I'm going to go ahead and put a different shape around those. Again, notice how I'm putting the shape around the sign that's in front as well. So I have positive 2 and I have a positive 7, which is going to give me a positive 9. Now, as of right now, I have 10x plus 9. So I have to think to myself, can I combine these two together? The answer is no. That's like saying I have 10 elephants and 9 giraffes, and I'm going to make 19 giraffelants. It just doesn't work. So this is as simplified as it's going to go. Okay, here's our next problem. 3 plus 2x plus x. So again, I see that I have an x here and an x here. Notice how I'm including the sign in front of it. So 2x plus x is going to give me a 3x. I can't combine that 3 with anything, so I'm going to put it just right here. It doesn't matter which side you put the plus 3 because adding order doesn't matter. So there's my answer. That's as far as it's going to go. Now, this is why it's important to put your shape around the sign that's in front of the number. I have 5a minus 9 plus 2a minus 4. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm getting bored with circles and stuff, so I'm going to do a triangle around the 5a, and I'm going to do a triangle around the 2a. And then again, notice I've included the sign with it. 5a plus 2a is going to give me 7a. Now, I have a 9 and a 4. Make sure that you include the sign that's in front of it. So let's do, I'll do a heart, and then I'll do another heart. Because now when I look at it, I have a negative 9 and a negative 4, which is going to give me a negative 13. So that is option 1, putting shapes around the sign that's in front. Option 2 is you can use your superpower with your consequences and make it look like that. So either way, I'm going to end up with a negative 13. Negative 9 and negative 4 make a negative 13. So that's why we include the sign that's in front of the number, just to help us identify negatives with it. So in class today, we're going to practice using some cards, just kind of combining like terms. This is probably best to do in person in class. Those of you at home probably don't have to worry too much about it. But if you do want a little bit more of a challenge, you do have something a little bit tougher. Looks like we have a couple of different variables involved. We've got some negatives involved. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the answers to these. Hopefully you've done them on your own. So a negative 6, I'm going to look for any other term that does not have a variable. I see a 9 here, and that would be it. I have a 4k. I look through here. I don't have any more variables of the letter k, so there's nothing I can do with that. I have a subtract 2, x. If I look through here, I don't see any x's, so there's nothing I can combine with that. But I do see a u variable and a u variable there. So I'm going to go ahead and do a different shape around those. So I'll start that. It doesn't really matter what your shapes look like. There you go. So I have a -6 and a +9. -6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, that was bad. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8, 9. 0 pairs. It's going to give me a +3. I can't combine that 4K with anything, so I'm just going to bring it down. I can't combine that -2x with anything, so I'm going to bring that down. Now, if I have +6u's and -2u's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 negatives. Wow, that's really bad. That's okay. It's going to give me 4 positives, and then don't forget my variable. Now, this next challenge problem, the parentheses tend to throw people off, but don't let it. Because they tell you do what's inside parentheses first, but if I look in here, I can't really combine this one because this one has a q for a variable, and this one doesn't. This one has a q, but this one doesn't. So I'm just going to go ahead and focus on combining anything that's similar. So those right there. If I look for terms without a variable, I've got this one right here. And I've got this one right here. And that h, 8h, I can't do anything with, so I am ready to start combining. So I have a 5q and a 5q. That's going to give me 10 q's. That's not a 9, I know, but if it helps, there you go. I have a -2 and a +10. That is going to give me a +8. And I can't do anything with that 8h, so I'm going to bring that down, and there's my answer. If you guys have any questions about any of these, you guys are welcome to message me through Canvas, message your teacher. We miss you. Hopefully we see you guys soon enough. Talk to you later.